Hi everyone, welcome back to Guide to Solidworks. And in this tutorial today what we're going to be looking at is doing the Model Mania 2014 example question or challenge question. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're a current existing member, please hit that bell icon so that you can get regular updates whenever I release new videos. And if you're enjoying the content, please give us a big thumbs up as you're going through. And if you've got any questions that you might want to ask, just chuck them in that comments tab and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Right, so with this, what we're going to do is we're going to break it down into sections. So first thing I need to create are these curvatures around here. Now I've got some radiuses for these, so we'll look at creating some sort of shape to be able to extrude these up to, probably using a surface. Then once we've got them radiuses in there, I will then look at adding in some draft angles on the shapes here to be able to get it up to where I want it to be. With them draft angles on, I can then add in the fillets and shell this section to leave me with the finished component. So let's dive into this and let's have a go. Okay, so we're going to start off on here and I'm going to draw on the front plane. So front plane here, and I'm going to sketch on here and I'm going to create two circles. So them circles are going to start down this lower point and they're going to come straight up here. Now both of them are going to start in the same position and drag up. Now that position is going to be offset from my origin, from there to there, and it is going to be a distance of 120 down. Okay, now what I'm trying to create here is something that I can revolve around, or a surface that I can revolve around to be able to extrude my shapes up to. So if I trim out these sections here, and then I can put some sizes to these. So I've got a radius here of 170 and a radius here of 160, like so. Okay, so once I've got these two lines in, I'm going to go to surfaces, not solids, surfaces, and I'm going to revolve them round. Now I'm going to revolve them round this vertical axis here. Okay, and that's giving me a dome inside a dome effectively. Tick there, I'm happy with that. And that'll give me my shape. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to the top plane, so top plane here, and I'm going to sketch on there my shape for the model that I want. So starting off on line with my origin, I'm going to make the origin and this line midpoint relationship so that it extends out the same distance both ways, and that back line is 125 long. Okay, I also then have an arc. Let's sketch this in first. So I've got a line that comes down here, then an arc around here, like so, and then a line that connects back up to there, that line back to there. Okay, now I'm going to have to look at a few little bits here to dimension this, to fully define this. So I'm going to take my center point here and make it relationship to my origin, and I'm going to make that a vertical relationship that locks it straight down the line. my arc here is going to be a radius, and that radius is going to be 75. Okay, now I want to make these 3 points horizontal relationship to each other. And what that means is these 2 lines that I sketched in earlier, I'm just going to have to get rid of them for a second. Okay. Now I've got this radius in here, but I am also going to want the distance from this outer point here to there, and that distance should be 100. Okay, so I've got that in. Now I'm going to go back to these points and put some lines in here. One there. One here. In fact, I only need the one. We'll mirror it across. So I'm going to put a centre line in. And I'm going to put a line in here as well, so that I've got something to measure my angle off. Okay, so I've got my centre line in here, and I'm going to measure the distance from there to there, giving me the angle. I want that to be 15 degrees. Okay, so that's set up at 15 degrees. Now I'm going to mirror that line across to the other side once I've trimmed this away. Mirror tool. So if I click on the line, click on the centre line, get the mirror tool, and it'll come straight across there for me. And then I can trim off my excess material. In fact, I'm going to leave that there rather than undefining it. If I leave that on there, I can still extrude this up just using the profile, the contour inside. Okay, so I'm going to offset these lines here to give me the shape on the inside. So if I go to the offset tool, I'm going to select that, I'm going to select that. In fact, I'll do one of these at a time. So I'm going to bring that inside, and I'm going to offset that, and I'm going to reverse the direction on that as well, and tick there. Okay, now I'm going to trim that up. Like so, giving me that inner profile shape there. Okay. Once I've got that inner profile, I can look at doing some extrudes now. So if I go to features and extrude, it's going to pick up this shape, but it's going to go for the thin feature. Now, is it going to let me untick it? It's not. So I'm just going to exit that extrude, exit the sketch first, and then go back into that extrude profile there. Now, if I come down to the select contours at the bottom here, get rid of that sketch, and this time I am have to select in specific contours. So that one in the centre there is going to extrude up. Up to a surface, which is going to be this outside surface here. Now at the moment it's trying to come down, I don't want it to come down, I'm just going to flip the direction there and take it up to the top, like so. Okay, now I'm going to use that sketch again, so drop down the boss extrude, click on the sketch 2 here, and go to extrude again. Now this time, again clear that contour section at the bottom. This time I'm going to select the outer shape, clear the thin feature, and this time I'm going to extrude up to the inner surface. Flip the direction again, and tick there. Now I have to create them extrudes, I'm going to hide this surface. I no longer need it. So I've hardened them, and I've got my component extruded up exactly how I want it, like so. Okay, now once I've created that, what I now can do is look at adding in my draft angles. So I'm going to come to the draft tool here. I'm going to start off with this bottom shape, so click on that. I'm going to reverse the direction of my draft, so I want it to pull up. Sorry, I'm going to go to the draft expert tool first actually. I'm going to set my draft angle. In this case, my draft angle is going to be 15 degrees. Again, selecting that bottom face. Reverse the direction I want to pull up. And I'm going to select that face, and that face, and draft that in. Apply that, and you'll see that we'll get a draft pulling that into the shape. Okay, so that's the first one we're going to look at. As you can see, we've now got that draft on there. The second bit we're going to look at is creating the draft around here. Okay, now we go to draft tool again. Now if I just draft these faces, what's going to happen is it's going to pull this in, which means this top face gets smaller. I don't want this top face to get smaller, I want this top face to stay the same size. So rather than using the draft expert, I'm going to go to the manual draft tool. I'm going to use the parting line draft and click this bottom face here. And then the lines that I'm going to draft from are these here. Okay, so as you can see the arrows are pointing down, so it's going to draft out, down, but I'm going to flip the direction. Okay, so it's going to draft from that line out. Tick that. And you can see I need to change that angle, but you can see how it started to do that there. So going from 1 degree to 15 degrees and apply that. Okay, so we've got that draft angle now on that top section as well. So now what we have to do is add in our fillets. So there's 2 fillets we're going to add to this. The first one is a 10mm fillet, and that is going to go on there, 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 and there. Okay, so we're taking them 4 points. Add that fillet in there. Second fillet. Now this one's going to be a 6mm fillet, and the 6mm fillet is going to go around this top edge and this top edge, like so. We also want to add this little 6mm fillet in here as well, so let's get it on that bottom edge there as well. And then we can apply that. Okay, so we've got that in place now. I'm just going to apply an appearance to it. So if I just right click on the body, add an appearance, and add it to the body. I'm going to make that gold, and I'm just going to take that. Okay, so the last bit of this then is just to add in a shell. So the shell, if I go to the shell feature at the back there, the shell is going to be 4mm, right, 4mm thickness left. So once I've got that shell thickness left, I'm just going to click on the 2 faces that I want to shell from, which are them 2 at the back, and tick there, leaving me with that shelled face left over at the back there. Okay, so that is phase 1 of this model. So what I'm going to also do is take you through phase 2. So in phase 2 we need to make some alterations to this. First thing that we need to look at making the alteration to is this top face. Rather than it coming up or around at that radius, it's now going to come down at quite a dramatic angle here, 20 degrees flat angle, so we're going to have to change that. We are also then going to have to apply some more fillets and a draft angle on the inside there. Okay, so let's have a look at how we make these alterations. Okay, so if I'm going to make these alterations, I'm going to have to pull this design bar back here. So I'm going to take it back to the point where I had my first fillet, or my first extrude up, sorry. Now, at this point here, I extruded to that surface there. I'm going to change this. I take the side view there, and I go on the right side. I'm going to create a sketch on here. In fact, actually, I need to go back further than that. Let's drop it back to there. Okay, so let's create a sketch on here. On the right plane, and sketch. Now I've got my origin here, so first thing I'm going to do from my origin is create a center line, going across the bottom of the base here. Now I know that the whole length of my model was 100 all the way across, so if I take that to 100, then I know I'm going to be going far enough. Okay. Now this line is going to come on line with my origin, but up here at an angle. So I want that point there in my origin to be vertically aligned, like so. Then I'm going to set the offset distance between them 2 points, which is going to be 20. And I'm going to set an angle from there to there, which is also going to be 20. Now, just so I've got this sketch fully defined, I'm going to align the ends of them, make sure that they're vertically aligned, like so. Okay. Now, once I've got that in place, I'm going to go to Surfaces. I'm going to extrude surface, and I want to come out from the midpoint or midplane, and I want to go out 125 each way. Now, it doesn't matter as long as it's wider than that centre section, how far out that goes. Now, if I drop this down one, there we go. So if we drop that down now, we'll see how that surface interacts with this section here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that first extrude, and rather than coming up to that selected surface, I'm going to change the surface we're coming up to and come up to this one now, like so, and tick there. Okay, now I've got that in place, I can hide that surface, and I've got that extrude now in place, like so. So drop that down, and you'll see how it now interacts with that section. I'm going to drop it down again to my draft, and it's pulling in them sides. Second draft now here. Now this is going to throw up an error. If I right click on here, edit this draft. Now the reason why it's throwing up an error is because all the lines have changed, so we need to edit them lines. Okay, so I'm going to work from the same places, so these ones here, which will give me that draft coming out here, but I also am going to include these two. By including these two, that will push this top edge out at a draft angle of 15 as well. So if we show you that, just telling me that it's going to delete all the mirror lines for me, and we've got that profile shape that we're after. Okay. Once we've got them drafts in place, I'm going to drop this down. I'm going to get that fillet of 10 in there, and I'm going to get this fillet here. Now again, this will throw up some errors because it's missing some of the lines. So if I just again go in and edit that fillet, like so, and you'll see it's missing an edge there. Not an issue with that, it will just get rid of it itself. But I do also want to add in this interior edge. Now I want to fillet this top edge as well, but if I put that in as well, we'll see the whole thing errors out. Just too many points for it to try and figure out. So I'm just going to have to put in, delete that last edge and put in an extra fillet. Okay, so I'll add that fillet in there, like so. And you'll see this top edge is now coming up. We're just going to put a final fillet in to pull it finally into place. So fillet tool here. And I'm going to take that 6 milli fillet around this top edge here, all the way around, and that will close off that top edge with that fillet. Take that in place, and we finish off with that shape that we are after. Okay, last bit then is just to drop this down to complete our shell. It will now shell out the inside of that, and we are looking exactly how we want it to be. Okay, so hope that helped. Now that tutorial takes you through the challenge of doing a Model Mania activity for 2004. If you've not had a go at that, please work through it, have a go. It's some really useful skills in there, developing your Solidworks skills, and hopefully it's helped you out. Say if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and if you are a returning viewer, please hit that bell icon and give us a big thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. Any comments, anything that you'd like us to have a look at for you, please put in that comment bar, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.